Hey guys, it's Perry Saturn, and here's another video from Ian and I. We're talking about regrets in life and stuff like that, and I was wondering if I had the opportunity, some things I would have told my younger self. So sit back, watch the video, maybe think about things you'd have told your younger self, and let's see if we can match anything up, man. Enjoy it. I really tried to live my life like without any like dwelling on things I've done. Try to just accept my mistakes and move on. But anybody who says they don't have regrets, they're lying, because we all regret something we did. And I think in my career, the biggest regret I have is the fact that John Kronus and I were unable to work out our differences.
Total elimination!
John and I was such a unique tag team, and honestly, I would have had a lot more stellar career as John Kronus' partner than I did as Perry Saturn. We were just, because Perry Saturn was a good wrestler, but wasn't as unique as the Eliminators were very unique. And John and I were close like brothers, and due to our drug use and ego, we let that ruin our friendship and stuff, because once I left ECW to go to WCW.
That run wild, and you've got Perry Saturn.
In fact, it's kind of embarrassing to say that once I left EC, I called John on my flight home from WCW. Living in New York, I flew to Atlanta to sign my contract with WCW. On the flight home, I called John to let him know that I was no longer his partner, that I left ECW, and that I was going to starting in WCW. And one other time, a few years later, I was in WWE. I had John meet me and my friend Mike out at a bar that we all used to work at. And them were the only times I ever even talked to John after that. And it's pretty crummy, as close as we were, that I let it get that way. And we did it together, but I truly wish I would have been big enough of a man not to let it get that way. Okay, we're going to take a quick break to me talking about the best wrestling digital card game online. Our sponsor, Woo, wrestlingorganization.online. You get to be the promoter, so you run the whole fucking show. You book the arena, you book the talent, you book the town. I mean, you get to do all the behind-the-scenes things that makes a show either good or bad. But if you can, woogame.online. Check it out, man. Most people, if you ask them their opinion of me, especially in the beginning of my career, I was somebody that was way too serious. I took things so seriously, and I didn't enjoy the things around me, and I was probably unpleasant to be around sometimes. And I wish that I would have been able to tell myself to lighten up. Don't take myself so fucking seriously. You know, it's all like it's just wrestling, man. Let's just entertain the people. To where I took myself way too serious. John and I, when we went to Memphis, John only had one match before we went to Memphis, and we lied to Lawler and told him that we were a team longer so that we'd get the opportunity, and I assumed that John would just learn on the way, you know, while we were working. And I wasn't very patient with John always, and I was very, very serious. So I would make a mountain out of a molehill, and John tolerated all that and busted his ass to learn, you know. We were put with Bert Prentice, who was a very nice guy. I have nothing negative to say about Bert Prentice, but he liked to fuck around a little bit, joke around, and in Memphis, the baby faces would stand in the middle of the ring, the heels feed them, you bump, you bump, you bump, you roll out to the floor. And we'd roll out to the floor, and Bert Prentice would say things to me like, Perry, my pussy's wet, pat dry it for me. And it used to make me furious because I was taken myself way too seriously, and I wish I would have just relaxed and you know, like it's all rock and roll, that type of attitude, just been more chilled about it. I took myself way too seriously, and I would have loved to have been able to just shake the fuck out of myself and tell me, lighten up, you jackass. Because nobody wants to be around somebody that's all the time, you know? All right, so looking back at my career, I really wish that I would have been able to grab my younger self and tell myself, don't take everything so seriously. Relax. It's not life or death. I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm just a professional wrestler.
Saturn, Kronus, the Eliminators.
I took myself so seriously, and I'm going to give some of that credit or blame, depending on your point of view. I'm going to put that straight on Kowalski.
This is the Killer Kowalski School of Wrestling. Walter Kowalski retired from the ring in 1977, but his motor keeps on running 17 years later.
When you introduced yourself to people over the course of your career, hi, I'm Killer, what was some of the reactions you got?
Not the Killer Kowalski? That's me. Wow. I used to watch when I was a kid. Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Because Walter didn't trust many of the boys and would preach that to us. Since I was one of the smaller guys when I first started with Walters, I was the first or second match. Guys later in the card, more experienced guys, would bitch to Walter that I was doing too much, that I was, that wanting him to take me off of the show because I was doing too much. Walter started watching my match more closely. The conclusion he came to was they were unable to follow me. And they were bitching about it, trying to basically screw me out of my spot. So Walter took that as an opportunity to teach me that you can't trust the boys. And he let me know that how the boys were collectively, 3 or 4 of them that I won't name, that went together collectively to Walter and complained about me when I was the first or second match, and they were after intermission. So there's no way my match should have affected their match anyways. But Walter told me what was going on, and I initially was concerned, like, oh shit, I guess he's going to let me go. And he goes, so what I'm going to do to you is I'm going to make you light heavyweight champion, and you can now go right before the main event, and they won't have to worry about following you. And he goes, and that's why you can't trust the boys. Shortly after that, Paul Levesque started training with Kowalski, and Mad Dog Rashad was Walter's champion, and Walter made Paul champion. His name was Terrorizing at the time. I was very lucky that Walter seen something in Paul and I, and I'm sure Paul has said that he was lucky as well. So we became, like, Walter spent a lot of time one-on-one with us. And most of the time, the point of the story was, and goddammit, that's why you can't trust the boys. In fact, sometimes he would tell us these long stories that we really didn't know where he was going with it, and all of a sudden he'd go, and that's why you can't trust the boys, and he'd walk away, and me and Paul would look at each other like, what the fuck was that story about? We'd have no idea, but he got that ingrained in my mind so much that I took everything so seriously that I imagine at times I was difficult to be around, and really would have loved to have been able to tell myself, just relax. It's not brain surgery, you know. I'm just one of the fucking boys. Don't take it so serious. I know I talked about a lot of different things, but in my mind it all kind of ties together. Gosh, I still, just talking about it, I wish I'd have been able to tell myself just to fucking relax and not take it so seriously, you know. I'm not saying it would have made my career better, but it would have made it easier. And it definitely would have made it easier for some poor bastards who got stuck around me when I was in one of my shit moods. So, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you can please hit the like and subscribe button, you help me out so much, man. And it will enable me to tell you more stories. I got all kinds of crazy shit happen to me, or I was involved with, and I would gladly tell everyone because I don't answer to anybody. It is so easy for me to tell you things because I do not answer to anybody. So I'm not worried about telling you, oh yeah, I slept with these 3 girls here one night and getting someone mad at me. There's no one to get mad at me. I'm just me, man.